This action research project focuses on my goal to reduce the amount of sugar I consume each day. This report explored the research behind the negative effects of sugar consumption and how it affects other people around me. There is also an analysis of why I consume the amount of sugar I do and what can be done to prevent it. The functional behavior analysis included in this report explores the antecedents, behaviors, and consequences of my behavior. Sugar has actually been something I've struggled with my entire life. I have never been an avid eater, and while I remain picky when it comes to nutritious foods, I have found no issue selecting a tasty treat with high amounts of sugar. Eliminating sugary foods is something I have wanted to do for a while, and I feel that the results could demonstrate how much sugar affects my day-to-day life. It wasn't difficult to find research articles on the topic of sugar addiction. It seems to be something that our entire country is in danger of experiencing, and there are a lot of programs that are desperately trying to raise awareness to the dangers of too much sugar in your diet. The good news is that just as our palates have been conditioned to crave sugar, they can be conditioned to crave it less. The difficult task is discovering what it is that is triggering my cravings for sugar and how I can intervene before it's too late. High sugar foods can trick the brain and the body into consuming more. Once I have begun the process of eating sugar, it is incredibly hard to stop, and it triggers a craving to eat more sugar. There were several triggers for me that occurred prior to me wanting to eat something with a lot of sugar: hunger, boredom, and stress. This definitely was not as frequent as my other triggers because sometimes stress will trigger not eating at all, but I definitely noticed a correlation with stress and eating something with sugar. There were also specific behaviors that correlated with these triggers. You guessed it, eating sugar. If I experience hunger, I'll crave something sweet to eat. If I experience boredom, I start snacking. And what do I like to grab for snack? Chocolate, something packaged, usually leading to a lot of sugar. Stress usually leads to me driving somewhere else to find something to eat, and that is almost always an unhealthy choice because of the attraction of quick and easy meals that are prepared for me at restaurants. There is no way to tell how much sugar is added to these meals, but based on my desire to eat them, we can guess a lot. There were also pretty clear consequences to these behaviors. Sugary foods have never been able to satisfy my cravings, so the more of it I eat, the more I crave. Once I indulge in one sugary item for a snack, I desire another and another. So here are the goals that I came up with to consume less sugar. Goal: Jamie will consume less than 25 grams of sugar a day by the end of 21 days. Jamie will consume less than 35 grams of sugar a day by the end of 14 days. Jamie will consume less than 45 grams of sugar by the end of 7 days. Sounds easy, right? Well, I was wrong. Just to give you a picture, at the time when I started this research, my target behavior was eating snack foods with added sugar. I actually ate between 75 to 100 grams of sugar a day. The most important consideration when changing this behavior was my environment. In order to be successful, I needed to remove all the items in my cupboard that had added sugar and eliminate sweeteners from my diet. Another strategy was to plan my meals ahead of time. That way when I got hungry, I was able to cook what I had planned and have ingredients for it. Going to the store hungry has always been a struggle, and I will more than likely grab foods that have sugar in them to satisfy the craving. Another strategy was to use MyFitnessPal to measure how much sugar I was eating every day. This can be used to document how many grams of sugar in each food item when I am eating them, which meal, and the total amount of grams of sugar I've consumed in one day. The app is great because as long as I'm eating things from my own fridge, I'm able to enter them in and get an accurate calculation of how much sugar is in each item. The struggle with this, of course, is actually recording what you're eating. Another important strategy is to find replacement behaviors or food items that I can eat when I'm craving something sugary. I think the biggest key to this is to have healthier options available in the home. There are not many foods that I like that do not contain sugar, so this will be an incredible challenge for me, or it was an incredible challenge. I enjoy veggie juices, so that was something that made a big difference in the success of the behavior change plan. So, results. How do they do trying to consume less sugar? Well, you can see right away in table 1.1 that I've also added the national average, my goal, and the sugar consumption at the end of week 2. I did not meet my goal of reducing it to less than 45 grams a day, and I fluctuated with meeting and exceeding the national average. You can see in table 1.2 that while for most of the week I ate well above 35 grams of sugar a day, that I got much closer to my goal and succeeded it by the end of the week. You can see in table 1.3 that I struggled again this fourth week with sugar consumption. I started the week out great, but gradually increased my consumption and by the end of the week got back on track going towards my goal. The entire week I was off by at least 10 grams of sugar in reaching my goal. Table 1.4 demonstrates the trends I experienced while attempting to reduce my sugar consumption each week. This graph clearly demonstrates that by the fourth week I had reduced my sugar consumption and was closest to reaching my goal overall. These lines demonstrate that my goals were set too high, but overall there was improvement in reducing my sugar consumption. I have honestly learned a lot from this project, and it will definitely help me with setting behavior plans in the future. I think that the major concept to take away is not to set my goals too high when I am creating my initial objectives. The goals need to be obtainable and realistic to accomplish. I also think that the success should be measured by improvement and not necessarily obtaining the goal I've set forth. I'm going to try and continue this challenge, but I will have to make a better effort on having alternative foods readily available and possibly doing more meal planning.